You've never heard of Acid Mother's Temple?
I do not know who Acid Mother's Temple is.
Dude, you need to get with it. Rock and roll!
I'm Buck Fever, the Crazy Diamond. That's Buzz Cutler. And Lucas is on the camera.
You had to think for a minute, didn't you?
I did. I was gonna introduce Bass Masters, but you're not Bass Masters.
But Bass Masters is not here. Another guy who's not here is Bob Pockrass from SceneDaily.com, my friend and yours.
Yes.
And Bob had an interesting idea. He said that ISC should take tracks in close proximity and sell a season ticket. So like you would buy one ticket package to Martinsville, Bristol, Richmond, Darlington or something.
I love that idea.
Do you like that idea?
I love that. I'm sure there's some reason ISC hasn't done that, but I think that's an interesting deal. That's cool. You get Richmond, Martinsville, Bristol.
Maybe, or maybe you throw Darlington in there. Maybe you do 2 tracks at a time.
Interesting.
I mean, there's no, you know, Dover and Pocono should do it. They're both independents.
I wonder if they would allow you to finance it. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I mean, you know.
Maybe ISC could come up with their own financing company.
I don't know. Pay it over time. Because sports tickets these days are so expensive. I mean, it's really kind of crazy how expensive they are. But the event, as you well know, is tremendous and fun, and a lot more people would go if they could afford it. I know that.
And I think in this day and age, when the economy is tight and attendance is down as a result, then creative approaches like this make all the sense in the world. And NASCAR has the advantage of having these tracks that are owned by a single corporate entity and can do stuff like this. And I think Pockrass has a really good idea, and I don't know exactly how it would work, but I think it's worth looking into.
Now, is this at his SceneDaily.com?
It's at his SceneDaily.com blog.
We're going to have to go there. Next issue.
Maybe we'll call Pocky for the podcast this week.
We'll do that.
Next issue, because there was no race this past weekend, it gives us the opportunity to talk specifically about some drivers and just their general season. And one of the guys that comes to mind that has really turned it on, and turned it on in, you know, a very short period of time, is Joey Logano.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting to see Joey Logano's progression. Mark Martin and Bobby Allison all, you know, say how great he is, how phenomenal he was going to be. I remember the ESPN piece. I just thought it was ridiculous. They were talking about the second coming. And then, you know, his first year in Cup, he was just all over the place, and including, you know, 43rd a lot. But man, that guy has turned it around, and according to Kyle Busch, he's the most communicative guy at Joe Gibbs Racing, and really doing very well this year, and it's really good to see.
Yeah, he's not just bringing it on the racetrack, he's bringing it in behind closed doors meetings and competition meetings and drivers meetings. Last year at this time, he did not have any top 5s. This year, he has, I think, 2. Last year, he had a total of 3 for the season, so he just needs 1 more, and he's already matched his 2009 totals. We all thought, because we believe Mark Martin, that he had potential and he was going to come along. I am incredibly surprised by how quickly he has done it.
What in the world are Paul Menard and Joey Logano eating for breakfast? I want to know.
Well, Paul Menard, that's another story, but Joey Logano, he is the standard bearer for Joe Gibbs Racing so far this season. And you could say, well, yeah, but he's got Greg Zipatelli. Sure, and that helps. But it's not like Mike Ford is a slouch, and Dave Rogers, obviously, he's new to the team, and so you can put him off to the side. But you can't put this all on Greg Zipatelli.
This is a surprise. It's definitely a surprise. It's a welcome surprise. Maybe not a surprise to Mark Martin, but a surprise to us.
But Joey, get yourself a milkshake, eat a sandwich. You gotta up your calorie intake, dude.
He does need to eat some food. Next issue.
Now let's start talking about Phoenix. I know it's not till, you know, this weekend and it's still a ways away, but I want to talk about this increase in distance to this race. They're going from 312 to 375 laps at Phoenix. It's an increase, I think, of what, 63 miles.
63 miles, yeah.
I think that is not insignificant. I know Bass Masters thinks it's not a big deal. Where do you come down on this?
I don't think it's that big a deal. I mean, it's nighttime racing, so the temperature's not going to change that much. You know, it's another fuel run. More racing. I mean, I don't see the engines exploding or anything like that, but we'll see. We'll see.
Well, you don't necessarily see it, but, you know, they've never built a Phoenix car that has to go this distance. Do I think that's some great obstacle to overcome? No, but it is a variable. Another fuel run is a variable. Colder temperatures to end the race is a variable. And while you take each of those things individually, I don't think they amount to much. When you put them all together, just more variables with which to deal. I don't think any of them are major in and of themselves, but it does create sort of more question marks than one is used to going to Phoenix. So it might bite some guys on the butt.
And what do we say about question marks in NASCAR racing?
I don't know.
When you have question marks, it all falls into Jimmy Johnson's hands. It always plays better for Chad Knaus and Jimmy Johnson.
Well, it's not like Jimmy Johnson is a hack at Phoenix to begin with. And then when you add variables to the equation, the variables are something that the 48 team seems to be able to handle quite easily compared to other teams.
And I'll give you a variable. The Martinsville run was not good. They didn't do very well, so I don't see them.
Jimmy doesn't have 2 bad runs in a row.
No way, baby.
But
no
I'm not
way.
picking Jimmy Johnson. We'll talk about drivers later on in the week.
Come to rowdy.com, check us out. Got a lot of blogs up, a lot of photos, a lot of videos, a lot of cool junk about NASCAR racing. ROWDY.com.
Rowdy.com. Say it like it is.
Say what like it is?
Rowdy.com.